What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's happening with the economic calendar thus far, what's going on with the news involving Tesla, which you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin to detail information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very, very soon in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, for Tesla, as you guys can see, this thing's been uptrending for the last 2 days. We had this low right over here just above 160. Then we started to make this high up to 173. Came back down lower. Came back up higher again, and we just made higher highs and higher lows. So the trend on Tesla is a bit more bullish, and we also have this imbalance all the way up here around this 177 area, giving Tesla a lot more potential to go higher. We have this support right over here at this 171.5 area, our 50 EMA, and so far Tesla's holding it very nicely. The chart looks bullish, so I'm going to break down more details about this in just a few minutes. Let's first talk about some data. So for today, we had the economic optimism report come out. Right over here, it's going to be coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so watch for some volatility 30 minutes after the market opens. And then at 11:30 a.m., we have the 42-day bill auction coming out. And 1 p.m., we have the 3-year notes auction. So we have quite a bit of bill auctions, not to mention another economic optimism report. And all of this is leading up to Wednesday, and we have the one and only CPI coming out. We will see if this causes the market to pump or dump. So get ready for CPI on Wednesday as well. But for now, look for some volatility at 10 a.m. and also at 11:30 a.m. when we have the big report and the bill auction coming out. For more data right now, we had a lot of stocks being kind of flat yesterday, from the S&P 500 to the Nasdaq Composite, but they're starting to show more life today as we're finding some resistance. There's also some news right over here about how Tesla's settled the wrongful death lawsuit that was brought by the family of Walter Huang. Once again, it's very horrible to hear anything about this, but the settlement has been made, and Tesla is it filed a seal the terms of the settlement from the public view for now. So that's very, very important. Besides that, Binance's new CEO, Richard Teng, said that the cryptocurrency exchange has moved past cultural issues after paying $4.3 billion in fines to settle charges from the Justice Department. That's a big change right over here for the crypto space. And Spirit Airlines, so on Monday, it will defer deliveries of new aircraft, and also it's going to be furlonging about 260 pilots in an effort to boost liquidity. Big news for them, as they have a budget of about $340 million over the next 2 years to do so. So that's some new news for them. That's what the headlines are saying right now. Now let's talk about Tesla. So Tesla stock has been removed from Baird's bearish list, with analysts bullish on robotaxis and energy. And this is ever since the new news came out about how Elon Musk made the announcement for August 8th. So that's some good news for them. We're starting to see some analysts being less bearish, and that's very, very awesome for Tesla. There's also a lot of headlines coming out about this. Tesla's Chinese domestic sales have doubled in March 2024, which is awesome. There's a 107.02% increase from the 30,000 that we got in February. For the month of March, we got over 62,398. So we did see a nice increase in the month of March overall. And I'm not saying the numbers were great. They're not the greatest ever, but there was a slight increase. They were a little bit better than the way the year started. The year started off on a very low note for Tesla, very, very weak. We also had Chinese New Year in February, but then for March, things were looking like a slight improvement. So let's hope we see this trend continue going into April. Let's hope Tesla's sales improve as well. So we'll see how things go from there. The data also showing that about 89,000 wholesale vehicles were sold in March 2024. 57,000 in total were Model Y crossovers, and 31,000 were Model 3 sedans. So that's very, very important as well. And the Chinese new energy vehicle sector saw about 709,000 sales in March. Tesla still has a large chunk of it, but it's not as huge as it is like in the USA. So it goes to show that things are a lot more competitive over there. Tesla only had about an 8.8% share of that. So once again, they're getting a lot of sales. If anything, the market's very huge and it's very competitive over there. I'm hoping that Tesla finds another edge, whether it's because if they announce new products, new discounts, new incentives, or even another $25,000 car. That's another possibility. Let's see how things go for Tesla. Tesla sold the loss over the autopilot crash, which is a good piece of news for them. I just talked about that, so that's what's looking like so far. And this is kind of like a chart of what their sales look like. We saw a nice little increase in March at the end of the quarter. Good to see that happening, as we got about 62,398 sales in March, which is not bad for them. And they sold a total of 132,000 vehicles in China for the first quarter. Once again, almost half of them happened just in the month of March, or actually very close to that. So not bad whatsoever. Let's hopefully continue to see increases for the month of April and beyond. We'll see if that ends up continuing. But this is making the headlines for now, and that's why I think this is more positive for Tesla. So from what I'm seeing right now, the news has been more positive for Tesla. And so far, Tesla is trying to uptrend a bit. So if you take a trend line like this, you can see it's been just continuing to push in a wedge. So it's forming like a wedge right here. And it's continuing to hold up very, very nicely. So in my opinion, there's a very good chance that Tesla respects this uptrend and we eventually reach 175 and we continue to push higher as time goes on. For support, if we lose 171.5, we could start sinking to 170.5 and eventually 167.8. So those are going to be your supports in case we break down. Watch 171.5 as key supports. For resistance, watch 175. If we break this, watch 177.6. Eventually higher levels like 180. In my opinion, the chart is uptrending, looking pretty strong right now. There's a very good chance we're going to be pushing for 175 very soon. And we could even break through that and start to continue to push slowly to about 177. I find that to be a very, very reasonable and plausible target. If we break that, 180 is going to be our next target. Tesla looks bullish so far, in my opinion. For SPY is very, very interesting. It is forming kind of like a wedge-like structure, but it's fighting basically 520. If we break past 520, look for a push for 522 to fill this imbalance. If we fail to do so, watch support at 518. If we lose that, watch 517.5, 516.5, then 515. Overall, as we're hitting this resistance again and again and again, we could be looking for 520 as our very, very important target. If we break this, we could be pushing all the way up to this imbalance fill. I think there's a very good chance SPY is going to attempt to do so. Since we're forming a bullish wedge, and watch and see if we could hold 520 for confirmation. If we break this, nice push is going to be coming all the way up towards the 522 area. Additionally, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, 4 hours looking strong, so there's a very good chance I might try to fill this imbalance. This is looking more bullish as we're seeing some more short covering right before the big CPI reveal. So we look a little bullish heading into CPI. We might actually push higher. The chart does favor that a little bit more. For the QQQ, same thing. We have this resistance around this 442.5 area. If we break this, we're going to be looking for a push up to 444. Eventually, then balance fill at 445.25. For support, if we lose 442, we're going to be coming all the way down to 440 flat. If that fails us, 438 is next. As right now, we're fighting resistance. We have potential to go higher, and I do see potential in the QQQ, just like SPY, to continue even higher. For Aapl, Apple's attempting to rebound. We did talk about how Aapl may pop first, but I wasn't really liking the setup, because we're on a very, very strong downtrend on Aapl, if anything, and we may continue to fall later on. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. So Apple's not looking that great. There's a bit of a downtrend here. Watch resistance at 169. That's where our 50 EMA is going to be. It's going to likely attempt to push there. If we break this, 170 is coming. If we fail to break this, we could be coming back down to 168. So I think a big test is coming on Aapl at 169.13, the 50 EMA. And we'll see if this breaks or not. But overall, don't expect Aapl to be insanely strong. Don't expect it to explode all the way up to insanely high levels. The chart is on a very, very slow trend, and we're still giving it still needs a little bit more time. So I would say just be very patient with it, and we'll see how things go, at least from there. So with that being said, with this divergence on the daily, we could see a small bounce on Aapl. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. But despite the possibility of there being some kind of small bounce, I don't expect it to be too massive, at least for the time being. I think it might just be kind of minor. And then finally, looking at Nvda. Nvda is also showing some life, trying to pop a little bit. If we could break this resistance at 872, 877 is coming, followed by 885. Nvidia is looking like it might push a little bit, but watch resistance. We have the 50 EMA at 877 being key. If we break through that, we're going to be pushing much higher. If we fail to do so, could pop to resistance and then reject. Watch support at 865. Watch resistance at 877. Whichever way we break will determine the bigger move. It is showing some life on the hourly. It could push a little higher to at least 877. And we'll see how high it goes after that. With that being said, guys, that is it for the video. We're seeing some potential in stocks, also for Tesla, trying to push a little bit higher. So let's hope for the best for Tesla and see if we can get another bullish move. As of right now, the chart is favoring bulls, and we'll see how things go from there. All right, thank you for listening. Have an absolutely incredible rest of the day, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.